incense lighters prepared. It's in the first page of your booklet. Together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Well, welcome everyone. Today is a joyous occasion. It's a special day, the day we celebrate the Buddha's awakening, Bodhi Day. So I wanted to welcome any newcomers, anyone new here, anyone who's came before, everyone on YouTube and Zoom. We appreciate you being here. We're going to stand and start with our chants, and you can join in with us if you feel comfortable. If I can have and it's on page 7, if I'm not mistaken. And today, for the Buddhist awakening, we're going to say the first three times. You just follow along with me, and then we'll go to the regular chanting. So it'll be a little bit different today. For the first time, I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For the first time, I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For the first time, I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For the second time, I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For a second time, I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For the second time, I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For a third time, I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For a third time, I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. For a third time, I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and practice practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. Turn to page 8 and do the Heart Sutra. Ramaha Prajna Aramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but Prajna Paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in Prajna Paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the Prajna Paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant, peerless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the Prajna Paramita. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, Samgate Bodhisattva Dharma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Before you have a seat, I did this backwards, but if you just want to do a silent bow, silent greet to one another, so we're going to be spending some time with each other after service for a potluck food celebration. So just go ahead and take the time to acknowledge one with a bow and a smile. Thank you. All right. We can be seated. Welcome again, everyone. I just wanted to say it was a little different doing the refuge commitments 3 times in a row, but my teacher Hung Soo, who many of you know, and who don't know, Hung Soo is my teacher. My name is Gaji Soo. That name just is my Dharma name, which roughly translates to unadorned determination. And Hung Soo would say the importance of repeating something 3 times, because you might not get it the first time, but after the 3rd time, something sticks. So that was always a helpful teaching. And for this important day, which is usually celebrated the first full moon of December, which is on the 7th this month, but we celebrate it on the closest Sunday to that day, the Buddha's awakening, Bodhi day. Bodhi just means awakening, or awakened. So if you didn't know that, the Buddha means awakened one. And there is the story of his awakening I wanted to share with everyone. And I'm having 6 of our Sangha members help out with that. Before we get into the story of him sitting underneath the tree, I wanted to see how he got there. The Buddha, his given name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was born as a noble prince, and he had much wealth, but he didn't find any pleasure in all this wealth, and there was always something nagging at him. So he decided to leave the palace and find how to get out of this suffering. There was four sights he saw on the outside of the palace that really drove him to find an answer. And the first was of a sick woman. He asked, his father was trying to protect him, and so he didn't see too many sick people. So when he saw this, he asked his attendant, "What is this?" And he said, "This is a sick person. Everyone gets sick." And at the time, he had a wife and a child. And he said, will my wife and child get sick one day? And he says, yes, they will get sick one day. And so he's disturbed by that. And but he says he wants to keep going. And then he sees an old man, and he asks Chana, his charioteer, the one that's showing him around, protecting him. He asks him, will I get old? Will my father get old? Will my son get old? And he says, yes, we all get old. And he says, and he just continues to just not understand, because he was so sheltered his whole life. His father wanted him to be a great king, a great prince, but there was a prophecy that he might become a spiritual teacher. So he tried to keep him away from all the suffering. But yeah, when he was 20 years old, he was going out, and then the 3rd sight he saw was of a funeral pyre. And they're carrying the body, and he sees the dead, lifeless body, and he says, "Are they sleeping? What's going on?" And he says, "No, he's dead. He's no longer with this world." And he just asks about himself and his son and his wife, and he says, "Yeah, we're all going to pass away one day." And he was so upset when he heard that. And the fourth sight was a saffron robe, an ascetic, someone who was begging for food, who was looking for answers, and that gave Siddhartha a inspiration to leave home. He didn't want to leave his wife and his child out of selfishness, but he wanted to find a way out that he can help them relieve their suffering, relieve his suffering, relieve everyone's suffering. So he left, and he punished his body for years, many years. And when he was about 29 when he left the palace. He cut his hair off, gave everything to his charioteer driver, Chana, and he set off. And he found a few meditation masters, and he was able to find bliss in meditation. But as soon as he came out off the cushion, it was back to suffering. So then he started to punish his body. He didn't eat. He ate one rice grain a day. He malnourished his body to see, oh, okay, maybe if I take away the pleasure of the body, that I can find awakening. But on this day, he was about to get some water, and his other aesthetics that were following him left. And when he got to the water, he collapsed, and he was about to die. But in the story of the Buddha's awakening, this young woman named Sujata, she was going. She had a bowl of rice pudding. It is said that she was going to offer to the mountain god, or the Shinto, or whatever god she was worshiping, to have good health for her baby. She was pregnant at the time, and but she saw this man, Siddhartha, barely alive, and she wanted to help him. So she gave him some food, and he regained consciousness. And at this point in the story, this is where I will have the 6 readers come up, and I'll have the person with the mic. The first reader is Gail. Thank you for volunteering, Gail. And you can come up here, or actually, I'll just have him come up here, and I don't know if I need to have 2 mics. All right, have this mic. Give it to her, and the next person can just. We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. The prince's ascetic practices had brought him nothing. 6 years had passed in vain. The prince decided that he would no longer hurt his body. He decided to eat food, nourish his body, and attain release of the mind. Regaining his strength through an offering of rice and milk, he made his way into the forest. The land there was flat, and the view in the 4 directions was clear. In the middle of the forest, a huge papella tree, thick with leaves, spread its branches into the sky. The prince sat down beneath the tree and vowed, "If I am not able to attain enlightenment here, I shall not arise from this seat alive."
Thank you.
Yes.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the papala tree is also known as the Bodhi tree, the tree of awakening. Yeah, that might work. Yeah. Thank you.
But first, Siddhartha had to overcome Mara, the name that was given to the evil forces that disturb our minds. Mara is our greed, hatred, ignorance, jealousy, doubt, and all the other poisons bringing people unhappiness and grief. Sitting resolutely beneath the tree, Siddhartha was not bothered by Mara's attempts. Neither fear, nor lust, nor doubt, nor weariness could distract him from his goal.
Another name for Mara. Mara is like our shadow self. All the ickiness, like the greed, the anger, the ignorance. And so Mara is in another telling of the. Not sure why that's not. Maybe if you just hold it. It's okay. Anyways, in a rendition of the. I appreciate it, Nikki. In the rendition of a play or a movie I've seen, the same actor who played the Buddha played Mara, showing that sometimes it's the duality of it's there's not anything separate from yourself that you're trying to get rid of, but this thing that we need to come to terms with and to understand. Thank you.
The prince became calm and entered into a meditative state. In the first meditative state, he tasted joy and bliss. The second meditative state, he stopped the uncontrolled activity of the mind and immersed himself in the bliss of meditation. In the third meditative state, he entered a state of equanimity and extinguished pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. In the fourth meditative state, with a calm mind that could not be disturbed by anything, he recalled in detail numerous lives of the distant past. At the end of the first part of the night, he attained the first wisdom, left behind ignorance, and dispelled the darkness.
Next, he strove to understand birth and death. With a pure divine eye, he saw scenes of people being born and dying. He then saw those who do bad things, believe wrong things, and walk around and around on the harmful path. He also saw those who did good things, believed good things, and walked on the good path. By the middle of the night, he attained the second wisdom, left behind ignorance, and dispelled the darkness.
Next, he sought to understand suffering. What was the cause of suffering, how to get rid of suffering, and what was the path to follow to get rid of suffering. He saw clearly, and his mind was freed from craving and ignorance. Birth has come to an end. I have completed the practice. I have done that which I came to do. This is my final birth. After this, I shall never be born again in samsara. At the end of the night, he attained this third wisdom, left behind ignorance, and dispelled the darkness.
And then before you begin, John, I wanted to add a part from the Dhammapada. This Dhammapada is what we give each preceptor. It is a very important book for the practice. It has all well, this version has the story of the Buddha, a very good rendition from Eckhart Eswaran. I have to pronounce his name a little bit, but he has a version that has all the Buddhist teachings. And I wanted to, at this point of the story, the Buddha, unaware of his body, plunged deep in a sea of joy and free to remain there until the end of time. The Buddha could have had only a faint recollection of those still caught in selfishness and sorrow. But the needs of the world cried out to him, the chronicles say, and his heart was moved to pity. That slim thread of recollection was enough. Drawn by the will to lead others to the freedom he had found, the Buddha traced his way back. Then Mara played his last trump. You have awakened to nirvana, Mara whispered, and thus escaped my realm. You have plummeted the depths of consciousness and known a joy not given even to the gods. But you know well enough how difficult it has been. You have sought nirvana with your eyes clear, and you have found it almost impossible to achieve. Others' eyes are covered with dust from the beginning, and they seek only their own satisfaction. Even in the midst of sorrow, do you see anyone throw the toys of the world away? If you try to teach them what you have found, who do you think will listen? Who will strive as you have? How many will have even tried to wipe a dust from their eye? For a long time, the Buddha sat silent, contemplating the impossibility of his mission. These questions shook him to the depths. In a world of sleepwalkers, how many would listen to someone returning from a world they would never probably see? Coming to say that love always begets love and violence only breeds more violence. In a world guided by passions, how many will be willing to make the sacrifice required to base their lives on these truths? Slowly, his confidence returned. Perhaps, he replied, there will be a few who will listen. Dust does cover the eyes of all, but for some, it is only a thin film. Everyone desires an end to suffering and sorrow. To those who will listen, I will teach the Dharma, and for those who will follow the Dharma itself, that will set them free. The Buddha remained at the spot for weeks.
The great earth trembled with joy, and the world shone brightly. Flowers rained down, and beautiful music played. The earth sang the praise of the world-honored one, who in great joy said, I looked for the builder of this house of suffering, but I could not find him. The wheel of samsara turned around, and I repeated lives of suffering again and again. But you, builder of the house, I see you now. You will not build the house again. All the rafters are broken, and the walls are destroyed. My mind leaves behind craving and attains nirvana. In this way, the prince became a man of true enlightenment, a Buddha. It was the dawn, and the morning star glittered in the sky.
And we all say together, Bodhisvaha, 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 which just means, yeah, woohoo, awaken. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for reading and helping me out with this Dharma talk. So this day is very important for Buddhists who follow the path, and we celebrate that time that the Buddha woke up, and it is in our Heart Sutra, which if it's your first day here, if you're not familiar with the prajna paramita. Prajna just means wisdom, and paramita means perfection of. And this teaching is given to us by the Bodhisattva, or the awakening being of compassion, which is Kuan Yin or Avalokiteshvara. And she is giving this teaching on wisdom, showing that compassion and wisdom need to come together. And then with the teaching of emptiness, it can get a little heady, but I think what Thich Nhat Hanh says is interconnectedness. You can't have one thing without the other. Everything is so intimately interconnected. Our food, from where we get our food, from where we go to work, and everything that you can ever think of has a cause and an effect. And we come, and the Buddha has awoken to this understanding that there's nothing outside of ourselves. There's nothing to attain. We have everything that we need, this awakened nature within ourselves. And with that, I wanted to start our meditation period. And for this period, I was going to have us do a longer sit period to kind of honor the Buddha's practice. And for anyone who's new to meditation, because I know there's some people who aren't familiar or don't practice very regularly, I wanted to give a few helpful tips, because some people say they can't meditate, or I can't clear my mind, and that's not the goal or the purpose of meditation. It is to just sit here and be with your thoughts and your feelings. Like, imagine yourself as a mountain, and your thoughts and your feelings and everything are clouds, and you're not trying to push those clouds away or grab them onto them, but just let them pass and acknowledge them. Oh, I see my sadness, or I see my happiness, or I see I'm hungry. I'm ready for the potluck. And it is okay to have these thoughts. There's nothing wrong with thinking, but it's grasping onto them or even trying to push them away. But and to help focus on the Buddha would have the anchor of breath. So breathing in I'm aware I'm breathing in, breathing out. I'm aware I'm breathing out. And you can count your breath. That helps. 5, 4, 3, and then all the way down to 0. Yeah, so with that, prepare yourselves for meditation. We bow. Thank you again, everyone. That was a 20-minute meditation, so I don't know if it felt like a long time or not. Normally we do about 10 minutes, but I wanted to do that on this special occasion. And as Hung Su would say, we invite anything, laughing babies. We love laughing babies. Cars outside, the sounds of outside is not impediment or helpful to the meditation. It's just outside, just like a thought. The sound is also something. We have some announcements. Let me get those for December events. You can visit zengr.org. I believe we still have the Radical Dharma Book Club the first Wednesday of each month. You can join via Zoom. The board meeting, Sangha members are invited to observe the third Sunday of each month from 11:30 to 1 p.m. and it meets at the at Temple or via Google Meet. And then we also have Buddhist-based recovery meetings, Mondays at the Temple, Wednesdays at the North Club, and then Fridays at the Temple. And you can get with myself for any more details on that or check out the website. And then we will not have service on December 25th or on January 1st. So I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware that we will not be open on the 25th or on the 1st. And if you have any other questions, you can check out the website. And I assume we have a Don, another announcement. Okay.
Hi, good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Ari, and it is my turn to discuss Dana. So, by a show of hands, how many of you know what the word Dana means? Okay, so decent amount. So, Dana is a Sanskrit word that means donation, gift, or generosity. Dana is a form of generous giving that expects nothing in return. So this temple is run solely based on your generosity. No one here collects a paycheck. So donations are needed to keep everything up and running, such as electricity, gas, and your donations ensure programming such as Dharma talks, classes and programs, individual consultations and groups, activities throughout the week to support your practice, and volunteer programs with outreach in the community. If everyone looks to your right and left, there are 2 Dana boxes at each entrance. We accept many donations, such as, hard, cold cash, checks. If you would like to make a donation online, you go to zengr.org, and there are ways to make online payments, such as PayPal. Or how many of you are familiar with Amazon Smile? This is a way that you can contribute, because I know we all shop on Amazon. And this is something I did recently last night. It's actually pretty simple. So the next time you're on Amazon, just search in the title, Amazon Smile, in the search bar. And then there should be a little tab underneath. You can hit select charity. And then from there, all you do is just type in Grand Rapids Buddha Temple, and it should pop up right there. So all you do is just click that, and it should just be automatic. So any purchase that you make on Amazon, there'll be a small amount that goes to the temple. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Yes. Oh. Kate.
Tomorrow is cleaning at the temple.
Oh yeah.
And we appreciate your help with clearing the Dharma hall. The booklets go right out here on this table, the entryway. Mats and cushions go through that little place where the there's still curtain in it.
I think they're
Where the
shared.
curtain is, and there's
Yeah.
a closet there. Mats and cushions go there. And benches go in there too.
Yes.
And benches, and then the black chairs just go straight back, and you put the black chairs back there. And the curtain goes. There are post-it notes on the wall. Oh.
Oh, cool.
And the gray chairs go downstairs, so if you
Hmm.
can do that, we appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much. And then Pushy.
Good morning. Next week, the preceptors who have been meeting since September, developing their practice, will be graduating, and they will be having a preceptor ceremony. Following that ceremony will be a reception. So I want to make sure that all of you know that. The reception is people who participate can bring desserts or snacks. Usually vegetarian is what we request, and everyone is able to join us in doing that. So I invite you to come for the ceremony and celebrate with our preceptors, and then also join us afterwards for the reception. And today, were you going to announce the
I
potluck?
was
as
going to let people know, about the potluck. I got this. And today we also have a potluck, and everyone is welcome to join, whether you brought something or not. We usually have more than enough food for everyone, so we would really like you guys to come and join us and conversate and get to know one another.
We did put a potluck Dharma bowl downstairs for those who.
Okay, so there's a wonderful. If that is it, we will close it with our closing gathas on page 9. And together we say, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the road of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. We'll split in the middle, we'll bow to each other. And thank you for all being here, and I appreciate anyone's help for cleaning up, and I hope to see you all downstairs enjoying some good food. Thank you. Thanks so much.